Hello, hello. I hope you are having a great day. Thank you for tuning into my channel. Today we are starting the first week of our plank challenge. So our plank challenge is going to be a 5-week challenge with 5 separate variations of the plank held for 1 minute each, totaling 5 minutes as a whole. So today's plank challenge, we're going to cover the 5 variations, the first being high plank hold. The second is high plank to pike twists. The third is bear plank with an object pull through. The fourth is high to low planks. We're going to switch our arms halfway through. And our last is forearm planks with oblique dips. Now, I'm going to start this, since it's our very first week, with just some plank 101 basics. When we go through the challenge, if holding and doing the movement for a full minute is too challenging for you, don't worry at all. Just go into a resting position or into a more simple form of plank for the rest of that minute, and then hop back in with us for the next variation for that next minute. Maybe at the end of our full 5 weeks, you'll be able to do each variation for the full minute each. But take this at your own pace. This is totally for you to do in this kind of crazy time in the world right now, something for us just to strengthen our whole body. So with planks, we're not just strengthening our abs, we're strengthening our whole body. It's going to help tone our arms, our glutes, our core, which is pretty much all of the muscles that wrap around our entire abdomen, and it helps with our legs as well. So just into some basic plank 101s. With a plank, there are 2 versions you can do. The first version is on your forearms. With your forearms, you're going to step your feet out and bring your butt down to being a neutral spine. A lot of people think this is a plank. We don't want our butt up in the air, we want our butt down, and we're gonna suck in our core. So you can kind of see my stomach is resting at the moment. Suck it in. You're gonna pull all the way from your abs and your pelvic floor. So when you pull up, we're gonna push our ribs down, pull our belly button in, and then pull up like you're zipping your pants up. Every time we're in the core position, we need to have this whole entire area as tight as possible to protect our low back. The second important thing, besides having our core tight and our bum down, is having our shoulders active. So here, you can see my shoulders are just kind of down, my body is down. When we're doing our plank, we need to push the floor away. So it's like we're hollowing out the top of our back. So here is resting, here is active. So when we're doing our planks, 3 things to remember. Keep pushing out of your shoulders, away from the floor, keep your bum down, and keep your core tight and engaged. If there's a time when you're in the plank position and you can't do that, just give your body a break and wait until the next variation so your body can be back into focusing on its form. The form is the most important thing here. We don't want to hurt ourselves. We want to tighten and strengthen our body, not injure it. So let's go ahead and hop into our first plank challenge. So I showed you the forearm plank. Now it's going to be a high plank hold, which is on our wrists. When we are spending time on our wrists, it's really important to warm our wrists up. So with warming our wrists up, we can start just shaking and rotating them, switch the directions, then start with a closed fist and then shoot your hands out. We're gonna do this nice and fast from a T all the way up, bring it back down. Now we're gonna go from a closed and open fist to flicking water off of our fingers, fake water off of our fingers. So we're gonna close all of our fingers together, flick them apart, and really make sure that wrist is moving there. So same thing, start at a T, work those fingers, our wrists, make sure we're doing our full movement. Your arms are probably waking up right now. Your wrists are waking up. You've got some warmth in your hands. Now from here, we're gonna start with a little bit of weight in our hands. Not a lot of weight. Get into your tabletop position so your knees are underneath your hips. Your wrists are underneath your shoulders. We're not here, all the way underneath our shoulders. So from here, I want you to just slowly start putting some weight into your hands. We're just gonna rock back and forth a few times. And same thing here, make sure your core is engaged so we're protecting our low back. All right, now that we've gone back and forth a few times, we're gonna switch the direction of our hands. So still, wrists underneath our shoulders, but now our fingertips are facing our knees. Now we're gonna rock back and forth. Lean back until you start to feel a stretch. Don't go too far back. We don't want to pull anything. We just want to go until we feel a stretch in our forearms and we start to wake those wrists up. One more time. And now I want you to move your knees closer to your hands because we're gonna flip our hands over and I wanna make sure we're not putting too much weight into our wrists. So now with our fingers facing our knees, but now the backs of our hands on the ground. Here I want you to rotate your elbows so they're facing your body and straighten your arms. We're gonna do the same thing. Very, very slow motion here. Very small motion as well. You're gonna feel this very quickly in your wrists. Just rock back and forth until you feel that stretch. Don't go too far. Your weight should not be in your hands. Your weight should be solely in your knees. We're just rocking back and forth and giving our wrists a stretch. Nice work. Now come up out of that. Shake your hands. Same thing. Backs of your hands on the ground. Knees nice and close to your hands. But now I want your fingers facing away from you. We're going to start rocking back and forth. And as we rock back and forth, we're going to open and close our hands as much as we can to make a fist. Keep those arms straight. Keep those elbows facing you. And again, just small movements so you feel the pressure in your wrists. You feel a little bit of stretch happening. Now go ahead and stop opening and closing. And now let's start pushing a little weight towards the front of our mat. Still, all the weight is in your knees. We're only putting a little bit of pressure into our hands just to wake those wrists up. All right, let's go ahead and come out of that. Flip our hands back this way. Last warm up is our wrist push-ups. So we don't have our fingers coming off of the ground. We only have our palms coming off of the ground. We're pushing up like we're doing a push-up, but only with our wrists. Just a couple more times. And our wrists are nice and warmed up now for the weight of our body in them. All right, go ahead and shake that out. Let me get my timer for our timed challenge here. All right, so our first variation of our challenge for week number 1 is high plank hold. So we're gonna go onto our wrists, shoulders above our wrists, hands shoulder width apart. Step one leg back, step the second leg back, Let me go ahead and put my timer on. Step the second leg back, suck in that core, get your bum down nice and straight, and push away from the mat. We're gonna hold this for 1 minute. Again, if you have a hard time holding this entire minute, you can either come down to your forearms for that very first plank I showed you, or you can just come down to your knees and take a little break for the rest of the minute. You're halfway there, only 30 more seconds to go. Core tight, bum down, push that floor away. 15 more seconds. Now this video is not going to have any music in it. You're more than welcome to put music in your own home. All right, 1 minute's done while this is going on. So our next plank is plank to pike twists. So we're gonna go up into a high plank. From here, we'll move our butt back to be like we're in down dog. We're gonna take our left hand and touch our right ankle. Come back to plank, and then touch our left ankle with our right hand. Back to plank. We're gonna do that for an entire minute. Again, hands shoulder width apart, right underneath our arms. Let's go ahead and get my timer going. High plank, push the floor away, suck that core in, now push back and touch your ankle. I'm gonna speed this up. Go at your own pace. We only have 1 minute. And if you can't reach your foot, no worries. Just get as close as you can. Don't forget to breathe while you're planking. So for your breath here, we're gonna breathe in and exhale. In, breathe in, exhale. We are almost there. All right. That is our next minute. So we are 2 down, 3 to go. Give your arms a little shake. Next is going to be bear plank with an object pull through. It can be any object you want. I'm just using a yoga block. You can use a can, you can use a ball, you can use a glass of wine. You can use whatever you want to use for this. So from here, our bear plank, we are going to start in down dog, or in tabletop, excuse me, and we are going to curl our toes under. When we curl our toes under, we are going to brace our body with our upper body, with our hands. We're gonna suck that core in. We're gonna push that floor away, and we are going to bring our knees up. So our knees are hovering over the floor. Again, we're not down here. We don't have our back arched. We have our bum pulled down. We have our core nice and tight, and we have the floor pushed away from us. During this time, we're gonna take an object and go from one side to the next side. One side to the next side. If that becomes too challenging, just hold the plank. If that's too challenging, come down to your knees and just rest for the remainder of the minute and hop in for the next variation. All right, let me go ahead and get my timer going. Give us a couple seconds to set up. All right, weights in our hands, core is nice and tight, back is hollowed out. Push up to your bear plank and back and forward. Bring that object through. Keep that core nice and tight. Try as hard as you can to keep your hips still. We don't want to be going like this. We want to have our body down correctly, our back hollowed out, our core in nice and tight, and just rotating our hands. Whoop. Only a couple more seconds. All right, and we're done. If you almost felt like I did, no worries, we're humans, it happens. Just get right back into position and keep going. So that is our third move. Into our fourth move. Our fourth move is high to low planks. So we're gonna be in full plank. I'm just gonna show you this way so you can see. We're gonna go from forearm up to high plank, back to forearm. So we're gonna up with our right, down with our right, up with our left, down with our left. We're gonna keep doing that as long as we can for 1 full minute. If you need a break for water, take a break for water. This is a video. You can just pause it if you need to. So, next move. We are gonna start in forearm plank, move up to high plank. So get into your forearm plank position. Again, butt is not here, butt is down. Elbows are underneath our shoulders, pushing away, holding that core in nice and tight. Up with the right, down with the right. Up with the left, down with the left. Now to our right, now to our left. Keep that core in tight. Don't forget to breathe. If you end up doing the same arm twice in a row, just switch your next arm and do your next arm twice in a row. Don't forget to breathe. We only have 10 more seconds. Last one. Bring your knees in. And press it back. Find your breath. Grab some water if you need to. Find your breath. And our next one is our last one. Forearm plank, rotating oblique dips. Your heart rate is gonna get up for here. You're gonna start sweating. No worries. The best part of it, we're working our whole body. So, last one. Forearm plank. So, our shoulders are stacked above our elbows. Our legs are pushed back into plank. We are gonna take our hips and rotate them back and forth, dipping our hip to the ground. Again, our back is hollowed out. We're pushing away from the mat and our bum is down. Core is tight. So, 1 minute, last minute, and we are done with our challenge. So, go ahead and get into your forearm plank. Bum down, core in, back hollowed, and dip it to each side. Don't forget to breathe. You're halfway there. Fifteen more seconds. 5 more seconds. And rest. You are done. You did the 5-minute plank challenge. Give yourself a round of applause. 5 minutes of planks is not easy to do. You should be out of breath like I am. Your whole body should be nice and awake now. Grab some water. Don't forget to drink water while you're doing these routines. Join me next week for week number 2. Thank you so much. My name is Jessica Waugh. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next week.